evening. I'm Olivia Quay with a special edition of The Big Story. Now, news just in: the Ministry of Health confirmed 13 new coronavirus cases tonight. It's the highest number of infections reported in a single day. The total number of cases in Singapore now stands at 130. Out of the 13 new cases, 9 are linked to the private dinner function at Safra Jurong on February 15th. There are now 17 cases in total linked to this cluster, which was only established on Thursday.
Yes, it took some time to establish, in fact, the relationship to this particular cluster. In part, we had individuals coming, presenting with symptoms, and it was only after quite extensive recording, investigating of their movements and contact tracing that we then identify, in fact, some common activities that they had engaged with. And the main cause of concern, therefore, was that they had all attended, or at least the majority of them had attended this particular dinner function, and those who did not were linked to people who actually attended this dinner function. We have then subsequently had to interview each individual, trying to find out what their movements were, assessing who they had come into contact with, and then subsequently interviewing those other people as well. And that takes time, and that perhaps might explain why it's taken so long for us to be able to establish the various people who were involved, and also to make a diagnosis for some of these individuals as well. In fact, even as we speak, contact tracing still continues, investigations still continue, and it may very well be that among the people that we in fact have identified and put into isolation through quarantine, that some of them might eventually also have symptoms and then be added on to the cluster. So there is a possibility that more cases will emerge over the next few days, all again linked to this particular cluster.
For the rest of the new cases, 4 of them, the ministry believes 2 are imported and that another one is linked to a previous case. No links can be found for the remaining patient. I'm joined now by multimedia journalist Kimberly Jow. She's live at the Ministry of Health. Kim, so 9 new cases linked to that private dinner at Joy Garden restaurant at Safra Jurong. Did the ministry say where else these patients had been to?
Now, to clarify, actually, out of the 9 people, some of them are actually family members of the people who attended and therefore did not actually attend the dinner on their own. And those linked to Safra Jurong, including those people, some of the public places they've been to include but are not exclusive to Westgate Shopping Mall, Boon Lay Shopping Centre and Gate Hong Community Club.
Right. So Kim, how about the 4 other cases that were announced earlier tonight? Where else are they linked to?
Right, so top of the list, 55-year-old Singaporean male warded at Alexandra Hospital. Now, he was a Singtel employee, but he has not gone to work since the onset of his symptoms. There were 2 imported or suspected imported cases, the first of which an SIA cabin crew, 47-year-old male warded at Sengkang General Hospital. He is a likely imported case, not a confirmed imported case, who had been to South Africa and France, but investigations are still ongoing. And the confirmed imported case would be the 37-year-old female Singapore PR who had been to Germany and it was warded at NCID. And finally, a 77-year-old male Singaporean with no travel history to the affected countries warded at NCID as well. Now, he is linked to a previous case who works at Fish Mart Sakuraya in West Coast.
Well, Kim, I understand that one of the new cases, case 126, may have gotten infected while in hospital. According to the Health Ministry, he was in the same ward as the previous case, case 109, I believe, at the Singapore General Hospital. Could you tell us more about that?
Yes, that's right. So he was placed, as you mentioned, with 109, and he was placed in that ward due to acute respiratory infections. And this was actually, he was warded with 109 before 109 was confirmed to be one of the coronavirus patients. They were also warded with a 3rd patient who has since been released from hospital because he had no symptoms, and they did not run any tests on him to confirm if he had or had not had the virus because he had no symptoms, and they only test the people who have symptoms.
Right, thanks so much, Kim. That was multimedia journalist Kimberly Jow reporting live from the Ministry of Health. A lot to digest. The ministry has announced 13 new cases in Singapore, with 9 linked to the private dinner function at Safra Jurong. Meanwhile, 1 more patient was discharged from hospital today, and in all, 82 people have fully recovered, but 9 are in critical condition. And of course, you can visit straitstimes.com for developments on the COVID-19 situation in Singapore. I'm Olivia Quay. Thanks for watching and good night.